Yep, so my name's Reon Paterson. Been in the building industry for a while now. Started my apprenticeship in 1994 down South Auckland in Drury. And so I've been building ever since. Finished my time in 98. Love the New Zealand building industry. Never set out to sort of end up where I am today, which is definitely off the tools and in management. I joined up with the Smith Sons franchise group in 2011. So been part of this whānau for a few years now. Ran a successful franchise and ended up, I won't bore you with the details of the story, but it ended up moving out of the franchise and into management in Smith Sons, and done a lot of work that I'm pretty proud of in really, changing our model and making a lot of improvements to it. And just in 2019 actually ended up buying out the master franchise, it's called, of New Zealand. I'm a lucky guy in that respect. I get to work. We're all builders in our group, 25 offices nationally, and working in an industry that I'm so passionate about, and working and helping to make our guys are really successful. Something I love doing every day, and something I'm proud of, like I say. So yeah, that's my story. Again, I can only really point back to my time in Smith Sons, and in the early days there was, and we're always honest about this, I saw it for myself, there was a bit of a lack of systems for sure, and some franchisees that were recruited that really, to be fair to them and fair to their customers, shouldn't have been, in retrospect. And that's just at the time that I ended up moving into management. I found that quite challenging at times. Seeing a guy come along with no building experience, and seeing the master franchisee at the time recruit them, and knowing what would probably occur with no systems and support in place for them, and then watching that occur was a bit of a struggle to me, I guess. I didn't enjoy watching that. I thought, they were probably cannon fodder a little bit. But that's why we've done a lot of work in our business anyway to really avoid that from happening. I guess you just sort of can lose morale a little bit, lose your enthusiasm and energy, I guess that was it in a nutshell. But I was lucky to be given the opportunity to actually fix a lot of those problems and get in there and roll my sleeves up and walk some of the talk that I've been saying, and that's why I've got into this management role and ownership and work really hard to help these guys out and fix that. A lot of stress in the building industry, I believe, I see it all the time. It actually originates from a lack of systems. You do your apprenticeship in New Zealand, you might work for a couple more years and become quite a good technician, a good builder. And then the pathway is to start a business, go in the company's office, register a company like that, whatever it costs, $150, bang, you're in business. No one's taught you anything about tax management, no one's taught you anything about how to price, no one's taught you anything about sales. There's just, the list goes on and on of stuff that you have to learn in our country by making mistakes, and that's where the stress in our industry, one of the root causes of the stress is that it just builds every day. End of your first year, your provisional tax comes, your terminal tax comes, you've spent money that you shouldn't have spent, a job that you thought you had doesn't go ahead, and the downward spiral can start really, really quickly. You know, it's a complicated and detailed thing to become a successful businessman, and I think it's an issue in New Zealand that there's just a real lack of, you know, like I say, you do your apprenticeship, that's only learning how to hang doors and set out houses and build them. You know, it's nothing about the business side of things. So, yeah. Well, the biggest lessons learned were there was watching some. You know, I'm not saying that there was lots and lots of business failures, but there was enough for it to see the pain, and understand where those gaps were. And it's not just for Smith & Sons, it's for anyone out there in a building company. You know, you should have a business that you're proud of. You should have a business that you get up with enthusiasm to work in every day, and you should have a business that delivers you profit. And I've just said that, and that's not an easy thing to create, but you can create it. And like I always go back to, one of the things that will help you to create it is bedding in systems that are consistent, that you rinse and repeat every day. That mean that you've got a business that thrives and that you enjoy being a part of. You know, I guess we're talking about mental health a little bit here today. If you have the opposite and have a business that you're not driving, you're not a firm grip on the steering wheel and driving, it can wear down. Yeah, so a few things I do. You know, I try to. I'm not always the best at it. Is get good sleep and a bit of exercise. Spend time with the family. I mean, you know, in times gone past, I've probably, you know, got to Friday and relieved the stress with a few beers, like many of us do. And that certainly doesn't work. You wake up feeling worse. So understanding when you are a bit stressed out. You know, making some good decisions around how you're going to spend your weekends and your time out, so you come back on Monday a bit more refreshed. And when I first got back from overseas, after I'd spent some time building overseas, I actually came back and was feeling a little bit, I don't know if on reflection whether it was a depression thing or not, but it was feeling a little bit, you know, negative and not optimistic on things. And I actually read Michael Hill-Jeweller's autobiography, I think that's what it's called, and there was a chapter in there about meditation. This is going back years ago now, and I read that and it just resonated with me so off. I went to do a meditation course and I really stuck to it for about 2 years. I meditated religiously twice a day, and I don't do it much anymore, to be honest with you, but that practice for a couple of years 100% had made a massive positive impact on me and my mental health. I don't really tell many people that story, but there you go. Kind of feel like a little bit of a defragging of a computer, and it felt like a bit of a fog just lifted away. And I just knew inside that it was good for me, so I just stuck with it. And I read a few books. You know, there's lots of sort of woo-woo stuff in and around meditation, but that wasn't what I was doing it for. I'd read some books and understood how it can sort of unjumble and, you know, declag your mind a little bit, and 100% worked for me, to the point where I've never had that feeling that I was sort of waking up with symptoms ever again. So yeah, that's just something that worked for me. Okay, well, the salesman within me is shouting to say, give me a call. You know, give me a call regardless of whether you're interested in becoming a Smith & Sons franchisee. Give me a call and I can tell you my experience. But again, it would be work really hard on all of the elements of your business and systemizing them. That's difficult when you're on your own and having to just, you know, make all this stuff up. Seek out a mentor, and find consistent ways of doing things. And as you build your business and people join work systems, that is the single biggest stress reliever you can have in your business. Yeah, just get online and look for a meditation sort of local course. I really do recommend it. I mean, it's changed a lot now because I feel quite comfortable talking about it, but back then I don't know, this is way back, 2010 probably. But for some reason I was embarrassed of it, so I didn't really tell too many people. But yeah, look after your brain, works bloody well.